What is up, guys? Taylor, aka Red Ranger 02 here, and once again I have to apologize for the inconsistency in videos. The reason why, work has been a little bit crazy lately. I will put out videos as often as I can, and I just wanted to say at the beginning of this to disclose that. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is I've been watching a lot of Variant Comics lately, and one of my favorite series on Variant Comics is Alternate Versions of. If you guys don't know what Variant Comics is, go check them out. They are a freaking awesome channel. If you like superheroes and if you like comics, they are definitely a freaking channel for you. Very, very good. I highly recommend them. Eris, he does a freaking awesome job. But I ended up thinking, well, they did alternate versions of Spider-Man, but today I'm going to do my alternate versions of Spider-Man. These are ones that I have come up with personally. But if there are ones that have actually existed, I do apologize. These are the ones that I came up with, and I haven't read too many Spider-Man comics recently. So if there's something new there, then I highly, 100% apologize. Apologize. I just wanted to say that right off the bat, and also another thing, I own no rights to Spider-Man. All of those rights go to Disney and Marvel. This is just a guy creating some Spider-Man fanfic that I hope you guys enjoy. So the first one that I came up with is the alternate version of Spider-Man being Richard Parker, who is Peter Parker's father, for those of you who didn't know. One of my favorite storylines that I enjoy from DC is the Flashpoint universe, and I love the fact that Thomas Wayne is Batman instead of Bruce. And I really thought that was an interesting concept, so I bought that into here. Basically, Richard gets bitten by a different version of the spider and actually has to leave Oscorp because of it. He sends his wife and Peter into hiding while all of this is happening, and eventually, through contacts that he has at Oscorp, has them slowly bring him technology where he develops his own version of the Spider-Man suit. The way that I came up with it, imagine the big-time Spider-Man suit that you see in, like, the Versus, what is it called? Spider-Verse. Imagine big-time Spider-Man, except instead of the gray, it is completely black, and instead of green, it is red. This version would actually be able to spin natural webbing, and he would have several abilities that Michael Morales has in the Ultimate Spider-Man universe, such as the Venom Touch and stuff like that. And instead of being able to actually camouflage, the red glowing bits, which would normally be green, can actually shut down for a pseudo-stealth mode. And I actually came up with this from Batman Incorporated and how his logo can glow. I could only imagine a criminal like trying to mug some woman in an alley, and then all of a sudden the Spider-Man logo like freaking glows. And if you had the Batman logo next to that, that's instant crap your pants time. Sorry I stole your joke, Eris. I couldn't help it. That was a funny ass joke. Anyway, I hope you guys like that version, and moving right along, we have another version that I really like, which is Kamen Rider Arachna. Now, if you guys don't know, I am a huge fan of Kamen Rider, and with this, it combines the universe that I created for Kamen Rider Kabuto. Well, Kamen Rider Kabuto is already its own thing, but the universe that I created as a fan for Kamen Rider Kabuto, and merging that with the universe of Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man movie. Essentially, what ends up happening is that Kabuto and the other Zector soldiers, well, Zector riders, end up actually defeating all the worms. However, they find out of one more meteor crash landing that was covered up by S.H.I.E.L.D., and through manipulation, Oscorp got their hands on some of the aliens and started manipulating them, turning them into some of Spider-Man's now enemies, such as Scorpion, Venom, being that of Rhino, all kinds of other enemies, one of which is also Carnage. You have so many of these different enemies that are no longer the traditional way that they were, but are instead worms, which are the main enemy in the Kabuto universe. They needed someone who they know could take these guys on, and thus find Peter Parker and help them cure Norman Osborn to show that he can trust them, and he becomes Kamen Rider Arachna with his own Arachnid Zector. He basically kind of has, if you've seen Spider Knight from the Spider-Verse series, imagine that, but now imagine kind of more bulky armor on top of that, and when he performs his cast off, that is the armor that is underneath. Moving right along, we have Toxin Spider-Man. Now, hold on to your pants here. This is a doozy one that I happened to come up with, and it goes something like this. Carnage ended up creating Toxin in the main story universe, but in my version of this, Carnage wanted to create his spawn to be the killing machine that he wanted to become, so it would kill Spider-Man. And thus, rather than attaching it to the NYPD officer that it ended up attaching itself to, he has it attached to Peter Parker, so that way it grows to hate him and wants to eventually kill him. That is not the case, however, and Toxin actually becomes great allies with Peter Parker, though Peter's a little edgy at first due to his previous experiences with both Carnage and Venom, but eventually puts trust into Toxin, where he no longer has to use his web shooters and instead uses Toxin's symbiotic ability. Kraven the Hunter ends up playing a part in this story, and rather than wanting to hunt Spider-Man the way he is, he wanted to hunt a true beast and turn Spider-Man into Man-Spider. You know, where he ends up kind of turning into an actual mutant spider? Yeah, that version. But thanks to the words of Mary Jane, he's able to calm himself down enough to the point where he can somewhat control himself in his Man-Spider form. With Reed Richards' help, he ends up extracting that extra spider DNA. However, the machine goes haywire, and when Reed is able to escape, but before he can grab onto Mary Jane, the machine finally detonates, and all of that excess power attaches to Mary Jane, where she becomes Spider-Girl. Instead of it being Spider-Gwen, you basically now have Mary Jane as Spider-Girl, where she has the same costume as Gwen Stacy, except with a black and red color scheme, a lot like Miles Morales, and she has all of the same abilities as Miles Morales. Peter, on the other hand, now places full trust in Toxin, and the two of them work together and become Toxin, a whole new kind of Spider-Man, or, in this case, a whole nother kind of hero. Unfortunately, he is killed by the Green Goblin, and at his funeral, Aunt May wants to see him one last time and send him off with a few final words before they finally bury the casket. But as they open up the casket for Aunt May to look in and see Peter, she faints because Peter's not in the casket anymore, even though he was just a few seconds earlier, and there's only a note left that says, Peter is fine, he is still alive, but he has no strength to go out on his own for right now. I've taken control of Peter's body, so that way we can continue to be the hero that we were destined to be. Signed, Toxin. Yeah, total freaking mind blown right there. Honestly, that was one of the better ones that I came up with, and those are the ones that I come up with. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know what your favorite version of all of these is in the link. Not in the link. Let me know what your favorite version of these that I've listed in the comments below. There we go, I got that out straight now. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And remember, give that video a like. It helps me out a whole lot. And if you guys like this video, then go ahead and, if this is your first video, subscribe. And if you guys want to see whenever I come out with new content, hit that bell right next to the subscribe button and become a part of the notification squad. And you guys will know immediately when I upload videos. I hope you guys all enjoyed this. And as always, this is Red Ranger 02 signing out. Power down!